So we start this edition of the SportsMax Zone with athletics. The finalists for the World Athletics Awards have been announced, with St. Lucian Julian Alfred, the only Caribbean athlete up for an award. On the back of the historic Olympic performance she had, the double sprint medalist, who also won the 60 meters at the World Indoor Championship, goes up against American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, who broke the 400-meter hurdles world record, a stunning 6th time at the Paris Games, for the Women's Track Athlete of the Year award. On the men's side, 21-year-old Botswana Olympic 200-meter champion Letsile Teboho is a finalist for the Men's Track Athlete of the Year against Norwegian Jakob Ingebrigtsen, the Olympic 5,000-meter champion. In the field, Ukrainian Olympic high jump champion and European Athlete of the Year Yaroslava Mahuchik goes up against Olympic European heptathlon champion Belgium's Nafi Thiam for the Women's Field Athlete of the Year. Now, while super Swedish pole vault world record holder Mondo Duplantis and Greece's Miltiadis Tentoglu, the Olympic long jump champion, battled out for the Men's Field Athlete of the Year award. Joining us to discuss these pairings is lead writer for SportsMax.tv, Leighton Levy, fresh from an important trip in the United States. Leighton, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Can we start here, though, by talking about the criteria for these awards and establish the voting aspect of it? Because I know people complain about Ballon d'Or award decisions, but people vote for these awards. So sometimes you look at a criteria or the criteria surrounding decisions like these, and you have to consider that people are voting as well. So put us in the know, Leighton, as to these awards and how they are arrived at.
Lance, I'm not hearing you clearly at all. I think you're asking. Well, what it is that 50% of the vote is from the World Athletics Council, and then the other 50% is split up between the World Athletics family and, of course, the social media votes.
Yes.
What I've seen so far is it's a popularity thing, because the top two finalists in Sydney McLaughlin and, of course, Julian Alfred, they had the most votes on social media. I'm not very, very happy with the finalists, but one finalist, I think Julian Alfred deserves to be there. I just don't understand why Beatrice Chebet is not there, having won 2 individual gold medals at the Olympic Games and a set a world record as well. I think the process probably needs to be looked at, because I believe that performance has to have a lot to do with who's the athlete of the year. And I don't think that Sydney McLaughlin did enough to be a finalist. I think, yes, she broke the world record, but so did Chebet. Chebet won 2 gold medals, individual gold medals at the Olympic Games. Sydney McLaughlin won 2 gold medals, one as a member of a relay team. Julian Alfred won World Indoors, the Diamond League final, and, of course, the Olympic final, the 100 meters, the Blue Ribbon event. So I think her place I'm not going to question at all. But for me, I don't think there are a lot of people who believe that Sydney McLaughlin, because she set a world record. She was not the only person who set a world record this year. Faith Kipyegon set another world record this year, and she's a 3-time Olympic champion. So I think while I'm not entirely unhappy with the finalists, I do believe that some work needs to be done as to how they get there.
Yeah. All right. So basically, Leighton, you're suggesting that it does appear to be more of a popularity than meritocracy. So having said that, do you think Chebet, being a distance runner, 5,000, 10,000, which are not as popular as the sprint events, would have worked against her? Because you are correct. Based on her body of work, it is shocking that she's not among the finalists.
Yeah, when you look at it, I mean, it has to be a popularity contest, because Sydney McLaughlin she ran a handful of races during the course of the year. She didn't even qualify for the Diamond League final. She did not run indoors. And, of course, Chebet has done track and field is about performance. And when you look at what Chebet's body of work is, how can she not be a finalist? It's ridiculous. Faith Kipyegon similarly. I mean, I would give Chebet an edge over Kipyegon, notwithstanding the outstanding year that Kipyegon has had. But Chebet has been, on merit alone, Chebet to me should perhaps be the prohibitive favorite to win the title.
Yeah, you know, her CV for this year really impressive. As you've mentioned, the world record in the 10,000 at the Prefontaine Classic, which is a part of the Diamond League series. Olympic champion in the 10,000 and 5,000, and also Diamond League champion in the 5,000 meters. But I want to ask you about Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, because I hear what you said about her, but she is undefeated, and the fact that she broke the world record for a sixth time, to be fair to her, all 6 times were not achieved in 2024. But if you break a world record for the 6th time, that has to carry a lot of weight.
Yeah, Lance, but here's my argument. Let's transfer this idea to boxing. And you fight one fight for the year, and you win a world title. Huh? And it comes down to choosing the boxer of the year, who somebody has fought 15 fights for the year, won them all, and included a world title. Who has the better record? It's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that Sydney McLaughlin's accomplishments are not significant. What she is in the stratosphere like no other athlete has ever been in terms of her event. But what I'm saying is that if you're an athlete of the year, it should embody the body of work throughout the course of the year, right? When you look at, let's use Julian for example. Julian won the world indoor title in March in Glasgow. She ran on the Diamond League circuit. She came through and won the Olympic title, something that has never been done by a St. Lucian athlete before. That's his history in his own respect. And then goes on to win the Diamond League title. Her body of work is more extensive. So I think, look, I'm not saying that Sydney McLaughlin shouldn't be a candidate. Do I think she should be a finalist? No, because I don't think she has had the body of work to back up that merit, to merit that kind of accolade as being the greatest athlete for the year in 2024. Yeah, there have been athletes who have been a lot better.
Yeah, does it count though that she's undefeated? Because some of the others have been defeated. They've been solid, including Julian Alfred, but she has been beaten, and McLaughlin has been undefeated.
Yeah, but if you don't run often enough, chances are you don't know what could have happened if she had run more often. So the fact that she's undefeated, if you run 5 races and you're undefeated, suppose she had run 10. I'm not saying that she would have lost. What I'm saying is that you don't know. So therefore, and she never gave us that opportunity to know.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's run undefeated to me is immaterial, because the reality is that she did not compete enough to suggest that she would not have been beaten. I'm not saying that then, but in reality, there's nobody close to her. But let's just say she had raced a few more Diamond League meets and came up on Femke Ball on a good day. You never could tell what could happen. So the fact that she hasn't raced much and the fact that she's undefeated is almost immaterial to me, because she hasn't raced enough. If she had run 15 races for the season and run in the Diamond League against the best in the world, and run at the Diamond League final, which she did not qualify for. So they had to even run a B race for her to run at the Diamond League final, just because of the popularity of who she is. So, running undefeated to me doesn't even matter in this instance.
Right, and based on everything that you've said, Leighton, and you've outlined, especially that key term about, it's like a popularity contest. When you sit and really analyze what happened, does Julian Alfred get the edge based on the 2 finalists that have been nominated? And if so, what will it mean to the St. Lucian and, of course, the Caribbean by extension to win such a prestigious award?
Look, what Julian Alfred has done this year, yeah, she lost some races, but she won when it mattered most. She won the final of the World Indoor Championship 60-meter champion. She's the Olympic 100-meter champion, beating the heavy favorite, Sha'Carri Richardson. She won the silver in the 200 meters, but nobody expected her to win that in real terms, because the 100 is her primary event. And she comes back and wins the Diamond League final. So she has 3 finals in her favor. She's gone on and won the 2 Canuck Awards. She won the Annock Award last week. So this would just be the cherry on the top for her, for what has been a fabulous year for Julian Alfred. And this is not from a Caribbean perspective alone. Going back to the previous argument, Julian has done the work throughout the course of the season and won when it mattered most. which is why I would give, if I was a member of the World Athletics Council, I give her the edge to being female athlete of the year because of the work, the body of work that she put in. She's simply done it all. World indoor champion, world outdoor champion, Diamond League champion. To me, that gives her the edge in my book. But, you know, one of the things that I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way because of the influences that affect the sport in so many different ways. But for me, Julian Alfred would, and if she wins, you know, on December 1st, we know if she wins, it would be just another fantastic, you know, accolade to go along with what she's accomplished this year. Coming out of St. Lucia, doing fantastic things. She's currently in Europe doing, as a tourism ambassador, doing fantastic work there as well. So this would be nothing but short of a totally extraordinary year for Julian Alfred, one which would be very difficult to top going forward for the rest of her career. Because she just told us a couple of weeks ago in the podcast, our podcast on the blocks, that she still has a lot to do. Of course, looking forward, first of all, to the World Championships coming up in Tokyo next year. But this would be the perfect cap to a perfect year for what could be the perfect athlete.
Yeah, for sure, Leighton. Have to get your comment, though, on the finalists on the men's side and the fact that Noah Niles, his name was nowhere to be found.
Well, that's not a surprise, really. Although Niles won the Olympic, won the bigger title, but you know, there have been so many other outstanding performances during the course of the year. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, you know, you know, Teboga himself, even though you can question both of those finalists as well, because when you look at the fact that, you know, it's been a year when there are many outstanding male sprinters and, you know, and male track athletes, but they are the finalists. So if I'm going to go with the finalists right now, I probably have to go with Jakob because of the world record, yes, and because he's been so extraordinary in the course of the year. Teboga has been up and down during the course of the year. 1,600-meter finals in Paris, but won the 200-meter finals, which is not the premier event. That he's a finalist, though, it's a big step forward for him in terms of the recognition and the value that he brings to the sport. But if I had to pick a finalist, I'd have to go with Jakob because, you know, Jakob has been extraordinary in the course of the year, even though he has lost some key races to some big challenges in the course of the year. But between the two, I think Jakob has probably had the more impressive year, so I'd probably go with him.
What of the Field Athletes awards for the men and the women? The Plantis looks hard to beat on the men's side, but Mahuchik on the women's side, high jump world record holder. Would you consider her to be the favourite?
Yes, Lance. And the reason why I give Mahuchik the edge is that she's virtually won everything this year, and she's also broken a long-standing world record, a record that's been done for about 10 years or longer. And I think her consistency, the body of work that she's produced this year tells me that she's the outstanding field athlete for me. On the men's side, it's Tentoglu has been outstanding. I mean, Tentoglu, you and I had a conversation in the office one day, like, where he pulls off these victories at the very last moment all the time, and he did it again this year. And he's won when it mattered most every single time, except for a few Diamond League meets where he lost to Wayne Pinnock. One meet, actually, where he lost to Wayne Pinnock. The reality is that I think the Plantis has just been too good. I think he lost once this year, but again, he's broken world records and he's been consistently great. And he's competed throughout the course of the year. Again, going back to my previous argument, he competed indoors, he competed outdoors, he competed in the Diamond League, and he's won everywhere. So he has my edge on the men's for the field events as well.
Yeah, and Mariah had asked you earlier on about what it would mean for the St. Lucian Julian Alfred if she wins. She would, in fact, become the fourth Caribbean athlete to win this award, following Merle Notty, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Elaine Thompson-Herah. So she would be joining a pretty elite group there if she gets it.
Yeah, she deserves to be in that pantheon, Lance, because when you look at the names that you just mentioned, they are all-time greats. There's nobody who can dispute the records of Merle Notty, you know, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, and of course Elaine Thompson-Herah. They are legends in the sport now. They are icons in the sport. And I think for her to join them would be very, very, very deserving for Julian Alfred. Look, everybody knows I'm a big fan of her because I've been watching her go through from St. Catherine High here in Jamaica through the NCAA system, winning in her final year for Texas, winning everything in sight at the collegiate level, you know, winning 5 NCAA titles. And of course, Edric Florial said it best. She's the best NCAA athlete sprinter he's ever seen. And I agree with that, because when you look at what she's done at the NCAA level, nobody else has run as fast or as consistently fast. When you look at the fact that she's world indoor, that she NCAA indoor champion, 22-0, and only Merlin Nutty has run faster. Right? She's the second fastest woman all time over 60 meters, 694. Only Privalova is faster at 692. And she's Olympic champion already. This is her first year as a pro. So the fact that she already has maybe 1 foot in the door of that pantheon of the names that we just mentioned, it just tells you the quality of who she is. And of course, as long as she stays healthy and focused, I think she's going to end up probably one of the greatest of all time as well. So this will be a big first step for her, and deservedly so.
Okay, Leighton, as usual, we always appreciate the expertise you add to the SportsMax Zone when you come onto the program. We look forward to those award ceremonies, because it would really be a massive, massive plus for Julian Alfred and St. Lucia and the Caribbean for her to take this award. So we'll watch the space closely and see how it unfolds. Thanks, Leighton. Yeah. So.
Thank you much, guys. And stay safe in the rainy weather.
Yeah, stormy conditions weather-wise in Jamaica today. And unfortunately, the system apparently likely to be upgraded to a hurricane, which puts Cayman and the western tip of Cuba in its path. So we'll watch the trajectory closely and see how it affects our Caribbean neighbors. Tropical storm Rafael it is at the moment. As we said, the meteorologists expect that it will become a hurricane probably in a few hours from now. We go to break. More coming up on the SportsMax Zone after this.